5:45. Appreciate everybody's patience. As everyone is aware, there was a special call meeting just prior to this to be able to discuss budget matters, and that was, of course, a successful meeting, as all of them are. So with that, we will move forward with our 5:30 agenda. We'll begin, as is our tradition, with invocation, followed by Pledge of Allegiance. If our police chaplain, Father Wiley, would lead us in invocation. Great Jesus.
Let us pray. Gracious, loving, and almighty God, we give you thanks for the abundant blessings of this life. We thank you for gathering us together here this evening. We thank you for the gift of the city of Goldsboro and for those that you've called to lead this city. Father, we ask that you be with us during our time together. Bless everything we do and everything we say, that it might be according to your will and to your glory. And Father, we ask that you bestow wisdom upon this council and those that are scheduled to speak before it, that they may speak from the heart and speak truth to those that need to hear it. And Father, we ask that you send us forth to do your work in the world when we leave this place. All this we ask in the name of your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. If you join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, if you would please conduct a roll call.
Mayor Gaylor.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Weeks. Councilwoman Jones.
Present.
Councilman Boyette.
Present.
Councilwoman Taylor.
Present.
Councilwoman Matthews.
Present.
Councilman White.
Present. All right. Thank you again, everyone. It's been a busy, very busy month. Appreciate everyone being able to be here this evening, and realize that does come with significant family sacrifice and oftentimes at very unwelcome moments, but appreciate everyone's commitment. Council, we have an agenda that is presented to us, a piece of which was resolved in the meeting just prior. Items 8.1 and 8.2 already having been resolved, could be stricken from the record. Mr. Livingston, or could be stricken from this agenda, not from the record by any means. Mr. Livingston, are there any other requested changes to the agenda as presented?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor.
All right, so council, with that, would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as modified, with the modification be to remove items 8.1 and 8.2 as they have already been resolved.
So moved.
All right. Motion has been made and properly seconded to adopt the modified agenda as discussed. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will vote electronically. Or do you want to?
Well, there's only 3 people.
All right, if you would please vote by show of hands. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes
I'm good.
unanimously.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Let's do something fun. Item 4.1, Caribbean American Heritage Month Proclamation. So let me grab a quick sip of water. So the way that, as council will recall, the way that we will do these proclamations is I will read them into the record. These are proclamations, not resolutions. They do not require a vote. And after the proclamation has been read, those who are directly impacted by the proclamation feel free to join me at the podium and give them the microphone for a few moments to be able to address the council, after which time we can take pictures if anyone's interested in doing that. Or not. It won't hurt my feelings. It's okay. Caribbean American Heritage Month Proclamation. Whereas June is recognized nationally as Caribbean American Heritage Month, a time to honor and celebrate the rich history, culture, traditions, and contributions of Caribbean Americans throughout the United States. And whereas Caribbean Americans have made significant contributions to the cultural, economic, educational, civic, and spiritual fabric of communities across our nation through leadership, innovation, entrepreneurship, public service, military service, arts, healthcare, education, and community advocacy. And whereas the diverse nations and cultures of the Caribbean have enriched communities through vibrant traditions of music, dance, cuisine, literature, faith, and language, while continuing to inspire generations through resilience, perseverance, and unity. And whereas Caribbean Americans continue to play an important role in strengthening communities, fostering cultural understanding, and contributing to the growth and prosperity of cities across the nation, including the city of Goldsboro. And whereas Caribbean American Heritage Month serves as an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the lasting impact and enduring legacy of Caribbean people and their descendants, while encouraging all residents to learn more about the history and heritage of the Caribbean community. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Goldsboro City Council does hereby recognize June 2026 as Caribbean American Heritage Month in the city of Goldsboro, and encourage all citizens to recognize and celebrate the many contributions, cultures, traditions, and accomplishments of Caribbean Americans within our community and throughout our nation. In witness whereof, I am here to set my hand and affix the seal of the city of Goldsboro, this the first day of June 2026. If you'd like to introduce yourself and ask and discuss why this proclamation.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. My name is Natasha McKnight, and I'm new here to Goldsboro. And I appreciate the proclamation so much. Thank you for giving us this, because Caribbean Americans are we're not on a census. And there's no numbers and statistics on us, other than there are a lot of famous Caribbean Americans that people don't even recognize or don't even know that they are Caribbean American. But there are some, like Harry Belafonte, and everybody knows his name, and Colin Powell. So we've done a lot for America as a people, and we just add fun, culture, and it's especially important to me because my dad, he was a community leader in Orlando, Florida, and he went to Washington to get it started, where Caribbean American Heritage Month it has been recognized. So in keeping his legend alive, and just doing something to keep his name and what he's done for Caribbean American people, I especially want to thank the city for giving us this proclamation. So we're also going to be starting a Caribbean American nonprofit soon in the city of Goldsboro. And so these are going to be some of the members here. This is my daughter, and this is Gonza, he's active duty, and Ethan, who is also active duty, as you can tell. So they're here to support. We had some more people, but I think the rain might have detained them. So thank you again. Thank you.
All right.
And if y'all just stay right here.
No, I never get the numbers. I'll be blocked.
Next, we'll have item 4.2 on our agenda. Is there anyone here from Fayetteville State to come forward and receive the proclamation? Okay. This one will be presented at their 70th anniversary event in just a few days. Proclamation recognizing the 70th anniversary of the Goldsboro Wayne Fayetteville State University Alumni Chapter. Whereas the Goldsboro Wayne Fayetteville State University Alumni Chapter is celebrating its 70th anniversary, marking 7 decades of dedicated service, leadership, scholarship, and community engagement throughout Goldsboro, North Carolina, and beyond. And whereas the chapter has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to supporting Fayetteville State University through mentorship, advocacy, fellowship, and educational opportunities that have positively impacted countless students, alumni, and families. And whereas generations of members have carried forward a proud legacy of excellence, resilience, and Bronco pride while working to inspire future leaders, encourage academic achievement, and strengthen the bonds within the community. And whereas the chapter's longstanding dedication to education and public service has helped enrich the cultural, civic, and educational fabric of the city of Goldsboro and surrounding communities. And whereas the city of Goldsboro recognizes and deeply appreciates the chapter's 70 years of faithful service, leadership, and continued commitment to uplifting others through education and community involvement. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Goldsboro City Council hereby extends its sincere congratulations to the Goldsboro Wayne Fayetteville State University Alumni Chapter on the celebration of its 70th anniversary, and encourages all citizens to join in recognizing the organization's many contributions, enduring legacy, and lasting impact upon the Goldsboro community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and affix the seal of the city of Goldsboro this the first day of June 2026. And that will be delivered in just a few days. All right, next we will move to our public hearings. We have one public hearing this evening. Mr. Livingston, I will hand it over to you, and you can then call forward whomever will be presenting.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have a special use quasi-judicial public hearing this evening, SU 0526 for place of entertainment at 143 North Center Street. I believe Mr. Talton is here to give us the overall brief.
All right, Mr. Lawrence, do you mind this one being special use? It is the quasi-judicial, so we have the four-part test, the evidence of admissibility of evidence, and the things that need to be considered, not considered. Do you mind just briefly reminding council?
Yeah, just the reminder that anything that comes from the podium can be relied upon as evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do your own investigation. You can't have communications outside of the meeting with anyone about anything related to the special use permit. It's just like a court proceeding. The judge can't go out and hear and do his own investigation. All the evidence presented is what's considered. It's the same concept here.
Perfect.
As far as real estate values or traffic, those are two specific things expert witness testimony is required on. So if you don't have anything about somebody saying, well, my property value is going to do this, you can't consider it. They can say it, but you can't consider it unless an appraiser was here to give expert testimony on stuff like that. It's just like we have a lot of people coming about all the traffic. Well, without actually a traffic engineer giving the testimony, then you can't rely on that either. Okay?
Council, any comments, questions? I know that we do them a lot, but I always like to ask Mr. Lawrence for an update whenever there's one right in front of us. So with that, Mr. Talton, over here.
Mayor, good evening. Council, good evening to all of you tonight.
Good evening.
Tonight, we will be looking again, as the manager said, special use permit SU 5-26, place of entertainment with ABC permits. It's for a special event center. This property is located on the west side of Center Street between West Mulberry and West Walnut Street. The owner of the property is Mr. Antonio Williams and Miss Akita Moore Williams. Miss Akita Williams is here with us tonight. Thank you for being here. Again, the applicant is Mr. Antonio Williams. The current zoning is Central Business Zoning District with the Historic and Social District overlay. The existing land use is that the subject property is a two-story commercial building. The second floor is currently occupied as a residential apartment consisting of approximately 920 square feet. The land use designation is mixed use downtown. The request again is for a special use permit to allow for a special event center with ABC permits at 143 North Center Street. The employees, depending on the event, could be anywhere from 3 to 8 employees per shift. Days and hours of operation, again, depending upon the event and what is worked out between the owners and the operators. Anytime between Tuesday and Sunday between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. So the approval criteria for a place of entertainment with ABC permits in the downtown business district is the following. Within the area of the CBD bounded by the south side of Ash Street, the east side of George Street, the north side of Elm Street, and the west side of William Street, There shall be no minimum separation distance from residentially zoned or developed property. A 50-foot separation distance shall be required for freestanding churches and schools. Number 2, there shall be no more than 2 such establishments with the exception of microbreweries located per city block, defined as the length of the street between 2 intersections. 3, in the CBD, there shall be no minimum separation distance between 2 such establishments. 4, within the area of the CBD bounded by the south side of Ash, the east side of George, the north side of Elm, and the west side of William, there shall be no minimum off-street parking requirements. Lastly, all outdoor activities associated with the place of entertainment must be specifically be approved as part of any associated review and approval process. At the time of review, the reviewing body may impose conditions on outdoor activities as necessary to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. According to the applicant's submitted floor plan, the proposed event center will be a place of entertainment for users to reserve the first floor commercial space for birthday parties, anniversaries, wedding receptions, retirement parties, private and nonprofit socials, etc. It will consist of interior and exterior assembly areas and restrooms for users of the spaces. The applicant has stated that users of the space will be responsible for obtaining ABC permits for events where alcoholic beverages are to be served and consumed. If the special use permit is approved by City Council, the site will be required to meet the developed regulations of the City of Goldsboro's Unified Development Code. And lastly, a building permit and final inspection will be required for the upfit of the existing tenant space to ensure that all life and safety codes have been satisfied before occupying the facility. As you can see in the area with the blue outline, there is the subject property. You'll see West Mulberry, Center Street. This is our proposed land use map. Here's a picture of the property. Currently, again, the occupied space upstairs is for an apartment. The bottom space will be for the event center. The red door to the left, if I'm not mistaken, that is the access to the apartment. Access to the apartment upstairs. And the 2 double doors will be for the assembly area. There will be an exit at the rear of the site or the rear of the facility in accordance with the building code. As you'll see here is a floor plan of the proposed facility. At this time, you'll notice a large assembly area here at the front of the building. And of course, there will be one at the rear of the facility. Let's see. At this point in time, when you open the public hearing, if Ms. Moore, I believe she'll be available for comment, but that will either be an outside assembly area or an interior assembly area. Regardless, a second means of egress will be required for emergency purposes outside of the building. At this time, too, I'll go ahead and tell you that there is access to the back of the building. It's approximately 5 to 6 feet in width, which exits out onto West Mulberry Street. Again, this is a part of a required means of egress. You'll have one, of course, at the front of the building. This will serve the rear of the building. And again, all this will be evaluated by our building code team, and they'll make sure that the building itself and the facility are in accordance with the state building code before any occupancy of the facility takes place in the future, if this special use permit is approved. Do you have any questions of the space?
Mr. Towton, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what the occupancy will be for the second floor?
Second floor. The second floor at this time is residential.
I'm sorry, I don't, the bottom floor.
Bottom
Yes,
floor
sir.
will be an assembly occupancy. I cannot tell you what that assembly occupancy is with the building code. There's several different classifications.
Is this the square footage about 920 square feet?
I was going to say, manager, I believe that was for the apartment. I was looking for that information in the actual write-up here.
I think our note said 1694 for the bottom floor.
That is correct, yes, ma'am. So,
think.
part of the presentation, the second floor is currently occupied as a residential apartment consisting of 920 square feet. The first floor will consist of approximately 1,694 square feet, for a total of 2,600.
And then one more question.
ma'am.
Will the first, the top floor, will it will it remain as a residential unit?
To my knowledge, yes, ma'am.
So the fire code question, that's just a math question, right? However many square feet, and isn't that how that works?
That's right. They have their own methodology for determining what the occupancy load is based off of seating, number of chairs and tables, or open space just with individuals only.
Gotcha.
So it all just depends on how the facility is going to be used.
I was trying. Honestly, the reason I was asking is I was kind of curious if it's assumed to be an open space, and this is going way down in the weeds, but
Sure.
I'm just curious. If it's assumed to be a wide open space, do you get a fire occupancy that's a total cap, a maximum, regardless? And then if you put tables and chairs, and obviously it self-resolves, is that
That's
how?
exactly right. Yes,
So,
sir.
Based on 1,600 square feet or whatever it is, do you have any idea what the maximum would be?
I don't. I know that there have been discussions with our chief building inspector and the applicant, and there have been some determinations made. But I can't say any more than that because I'm not exact on those numbers.
The on the application, was that a typo? Was it 10p to 1A? That's only 3 hours. If you do, that's a slim window. Was that a typo?
10
And
p.m.
obviously,
to 1 a.m.
obviously, the applicant. I should have said this. The applicant will be invited up, and I could have saved that question, for her if she's so inclined.
Looking at it, I would like to say it is a typo from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Yes,
From
sir.
10A to 1. That
Yes,
makes
sir.
a lot more sense than 10p to 1. And I would think that they would want a wide window to be able to.
Exactly, and it all is going to depend on what type of venue it is, and those uses that are appropriate for each one of those venues.
Okay. All right, council, comments, questions? All right, it has been our practice that we invite the applicant up. Miss Williams, would you like to, as part of the application, would you like to come up and speak on behalf of the application?
No, I think everything's been explained.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then we will move forward with the public hearing, and we will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to come forward and speak, please approach the clerk. This is a public hearing for item 5.1 on our agenda, special use O526, a place of entertainment with ABC at 143 North Center Street. Anyone wishing to come forward to speak, please approach the clerk. Third and final call. Anyone wishing to come forward and speak on SU 526, item 5.1 on our agenda, please come forward. Hearing none, we will close the public hearing. Council will invite staff back up. Are there any questions in the last few seconds you have thought of?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
how do we address the typo so far? Do we put that in a motion to make sure that's covered, or staff doing that?
I think that's a good question, Councilman. Again, as I've stated before, in conversations with the applicant, each venue is going to dictate different time durations. One may be for a 2-hour venue, the other may be for a party lasting anywhere from 9 p.m. to 1 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Again, I think if you are going to, at this point in time, you could set that those hours of operation could be anywhere between the hours of, whatever the applicant thinks is reasonable and you think is reasonable, whether it be 7 a.m. as no more than 7 a.m. is earliest to late in the morning hours of 1 a.m. But again, if there's something that an applicant wants to have a birthday party at 5:00 p.m., is that something we want to consider? And that's something I really need to ask the
Yeah, I would just want to make sure whatever we approve is the wishes of
Right,
the applicant.
is the correct thing. I don't want to have
That's
to.
right.
Hold on one second. Let's.
Yes, sir.
I see y'all having a sidebar. I know y'all are parsing on something.
Well, I think the question is whether or not that matters. If he was looking for that 10 a.m. to be, or 10 p.m. to be amended to 10 a.m., my question was, I don't think that matters in the application. I think if you approve it as a special use permit, and Mr. Talton can expound upon this, but I think otherwise, like he was saying, the event could be, one day it's going to be from 12. The issue is 1 a.m. cutoff, the ABC issue, but as far as when they started, I don't think that's part of the special use permit specifically limiting the time for 10 p.m. So that part really doesn't matter at the end of the day, was what I was trying to find out.
And that was actually the reason for my inquiry was if the application, I didn't want to approve an application that had a typo that then to the detriment of the applicant.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, okay.
We don't think it matters.
And Mayor, to
It
be
doesn't
quite
matter.
honest in clarification, we've always had that as a one of those boxes that needed to be checked in an application process, just to give council and other interested persons, whether it be council or adjacent property owners, an idea of what those hours of operation would be as a courtesy. But so far as like the Attorney Lawrence said, I don't know that that's ever been a requirement in a court of law.
Okay. Then with that, council, this one, if we are ready for a vote, we have two options: either move forward with the four-motion test, or to move forward with a motion to table if there remain any questions. Are there any remaining questions? All right. Then with that, there is a four-motion test. Motion number one, I'll just read it and then someone can state if they make the motion or not. But a motion that the use would not materially endanger the public health or safety.
Sorry.
So moved and seconded? All right. So moved by Councilwoman Matthews and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem. Was that? I thought that was the order I heard. All right. That it would not materially endanger the public health or safety. Would you, Ms. Getz, do you want us to vote electronically or by show of hands?
If everybody's logged in, I think they are.
All right. If everyone's logged in, we'll do that. The motion on the floor is that the use would not materially endanger the public health or safety. Is there any debate on that motion? Hearing none, we will call the vote. Please vote electronically if possible.
It's not popping up.
The-
Not for you.
The first one? I voted.
I was
And
waiting
then it
on.
disappeared.
You're good.
You're good. I'm waiting on Councilwoman Jones.
There we go.
It didn't pop up.
It's not popping
Okay.
up. Would you state your
I'll
motion?
vote for yes.
There we go. All right, perfect. So motion, all votes being cast. Ms. Getz, if you would.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Motion passed on a 7-0 vote. Number two, motion that the use will not substantially injure the beneficial use of adjoining or abutting property.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and properly seconded that the use would not substantially injure the beneficial use of adjoining or abutting property. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. Would you like us to vote by show of hands?
Let's try it again. I just.
All right, we'll
It's
vote.
up now.
All right, we'll vote
Okay.
electronically. Vote electronically if possible. All right, all votes having been cast, motion passes on a 7-0 vote. All right, motion number three, motion that the use would be in harmony with the existing development and uses within the area in which it is located.
So moved.
All right, motion is made and properly seconded that the use would be in harmony with existing development and uses within the area in which it is located. Is there any debate? Hearing none, please vote electronically if possible. All right, all votes having been cast, motion passes unanimously. And fourth and final motion, motion that the use would be in general conformity with the City of Goldsboro Comprehensive Land Use Plan. Motion's been made and properly seconded. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we will vote electronically if possible. All right, all votes having been cast, motion passes unanimously. All four motions being passed to the good for the sake of the special use permit, the SU 0526 is granted. Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you.
All right, now we will move to item 6, our public comment period. As always, speakers are asked to be civil and courteous in their language and their presentations at all times. Speakers are asked to refrain from personal attacks and or threats directed towards any council member, the mayor, staff, city staff, or members of the public. And as always, vulgar and profane language or gestures cannot be tolerated. Just remind that periodically. So with that, we will move to our public comment period. Ms. Getz, who is our first speaker?
Carl Martin.
Right.
Thank you.
Mr. Martin. Sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Like our nation, state, and county, we, the city of Goldsboro, has a system of laws. Our laws are in the code of the City of Goldsboro Code of Ordinance, and they can be found on the city's website. Under sections 96.01, 02, 03, 05, 07, 08, and 09 of our ordinance, there are laws regarding public nuisances. For your review, on the first and second pages of the handout, there are copies of the applicable excerpts from those sections of the ordinance. The remaining pages in the handout are copies of pictures taken on May 26, 2026, of what I believe depict a public nuisance as enumerated in our laws. The pictures are of a private drainage ditch that is adjacent to the property jointly owned by me and my wife. When we had heavy showers last week on May 25th, the ditch dammed up and the storm water flooded onto our property. Since additional showers were forecast on Tuesday, which could have resulted in additional flooding onto our property, I took the liberty of cleaning part of the dammed up section of the ditch. I was informed last year by our now city manager that the property on which the presumed public nuisance exists is a private stormwater drainage ditch, and it was confirmed by GPS that it is not owned by us. I was also informed that the maintenance required for private drainage ditches is the responsibility of the owners of the private stormwater drainage ditch. I am therefore requesting respectfully, or I am therefore respectfully bringing to the attention of council that public nuisance conditions enumerated in our ordinance exist, and I'm asking that appropriate actions be taken to abate the public nuisance. I would also like to express my gratitude to our city manager and stormwater staff for making the promised improvements that have been made over the past year and a half in addressing the serious flooding issues that we have had to deal with in our Mimosa Park neighborhood. Thank you.
Mayor, that was our only speaker.
Okay. Well, I appreciate public speakers that are able to come forward as always, and we look forward to taking a look at this and seeing how we can resolve this as well. It's actually timely given that the item that we'll be discussing after our consent agenda is our stormwater management plan and updating that plan, which I think there's going to be some robust work that comes out of that plan. Mr. Livingston, I believe it is now time for our consent agenda. Would you hear any remaining questions on consent agenda items and deliver any kind of brief?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have a few items, mostly budget cleanup items for the end of the year from work that we've been doing. For example, the work downstairs at City Hall for the security and also for the engineering design that we're doing now. And a few other budget amendments in there, plus the normal things that we see during this time of year. Some upset bids that are typical. Purchase of an off-duty weapon by a medically retired officer, and a grant project fund ordinance amendment. And there's pretty routine items. We'd like to talk about any of them individually. I'd be happy to do so. Otherwise, we'd normally vote for the consent agenda under one motion.
All right. Council, any remaining questions on consent agenda items 7.1 through 4? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly seconded to adopt consent agenda as presented. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we'll call the vote and vote electronically if possible. And that will count as a roll call vote.
Just waiting on Ms. Taylor.
All good, all good. Boom, got it. All right, all votes having been cast, motion passed unanimously. Consent agenda items 7.1 through 4 are approved. All right. We will now move, all old business having been resolved, we'll move to new business, item 9.1, the aforementioned stormwater management plan. Mr. Livingston.
Yeah, we'll have Mr. Arnold come and explain it since he's been working actively with his department there in engineering services on this.
Mayor and Council, I'll just take a minute and introduce this topic. Tonight we have Jonathan and Bobby to go in more detail with them. If you remember at the start of the year, we did a pretty significant update with you all on what we were doing in the stormwater program. And we're proud of how we're making those efforts. And at that time, we told you we had some things coming your way. And so tonight's the start of the things coming your way for consideration. This is a start probably of next month. We'll have a couple of other items. And then we're going to probably by the end of the year have a few more items that we need to continue to look at and build upon to have our permit be robust for Goldsboro. As you heard a gentleman say, there are many of these elements within Goldsboro that we need to start addressing, and so we're looking forward to that. So this tonight will be kind of a workstation setting. You have the hard copies of the information for you. You can carry this forward to the next meeting because you'll hear the final recommendation for both items will be to hold a public hearing on June 15th for both these items that need your approval. If you are so interested, we probably need first one for certainly in the ordinance. We are going to recommend also approval. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Jonathan for opening comments, and he'll turn over to Bobby, and then we're here for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. Mr. Perry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. How's everybody doing? So the first item on the agenda is the stormwater management plan. So I did bring this a couple years ago, but when it got sent over to the state, Hurricane Helene came through, and it just kind of got lost in translation. So our permit coordinator with the MS4 permit coordinator is coming back around, and he's trying to get everybody squared away. So there was changes. Bobby's going to go into a little more. She's got the presentation. She's going to be going through the changes. So that's pretty much it. So Bobby, if you want to come on up.
IT will switch. We'll switch screens in just a moment. We stand here awkwardly and look at each other until they do. It's tradition.
Okay.
Yeah. One day I'll get Apple Music subscription and get that queued up. Just so you can I would say just go ahead and roll, but I saw Mr. Arnold walk out there to go get the person.
Not me. Cynthia has handled all those.
Hi, I'm Bobby Barnes, the Stormwater Administrator. So we have the Stormwater Management Plan, and this will renew the permit for the municipal separate storm sewer system. 5 years starting, the effective date is July 1st. It's similar to the last one. Yes, sir.
Let me interrupt you just for a second. Council, so you can follow along. It is in Civic Plus. It is under this this agenda item. It is the PowerPoint presentation labeled SWMP June 1 Council Meeting. So you can follow along. And if you'd like to borrow my iPad so you can look at what you're looking at, you're welcome to. There you go. And that way everyone can follow along.
Thank you.
Good.
So the Stormwater Management Plan, it is part of your MS4 compliance required under the Clean Water Act.
Thank you.
And it is regulated by NCDEQ. The City of Goldsboro must implement 6 minimum control measures. The Stormwater Management Plan serves as a framework for meeting MS4 permit requirements. Oh, there we go. Do you want your iPad back?
You're good. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep rolling.
The Stormwater Management Plan outlines programs, procedures to protect water quality and reduce stormwater pollution. The plan has been updated to align with the current NCDEQ regulations and permit requirements. Approval of the updated Stormwater Management Plan will renew the city's permit for additional 5 years. Anybody have questions? And we're going to hold a public hearing on June 15th.
So break it down for us a little bit. The stormwater plan. There's all over town. You have concerns about ditches. You have concerns about private ditches that aren't necessarily part of the city system. What does this plan do?
So it's a little complex, but the stormwater management plan, the ditches are adjacent because they're conveyances, they're stormwater conveyances. So the city has to maintain those. And if they're private, we have to enforce the maintenance of them. So even, like he was saying earlier, the conveyances near his home, those still have to be maintained. And if they don't, they become a public nuisance.
And so there is, under the stormwater plan that has been distributed and we'll have the public hearing on later this month, can a ditch that wasn't necessarily intended to be a stormwater conveyance be deemed a stormwater conveyance on private dirt that then you have to enforce maintenance of?
No. Okay. So even if it's a private conveyance, say a ditch in front of your yard, the homeowner or the owner is responsible for maintaining that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So even the public ditches that are in front of people's yards are still their responsibility for keeping dug out?
We have right of way for certain ones. Each one has a different who's in charge of it, but it gets kind of complex. So
I'm gonna ask one more question, and then I'll turn it over. We've seen over the last couple of years that as we've tried to go in and dig out ditches, and I know Mr. Perry can speak about this because I think he got yelled at more times than I care to think about. But as we would go through and try to dig out ditches, we would see that cable companies and data companies and everyone else had buried their lines where the ditches are because the ditches had kind of filled in. How do we go about reclaiming those things, and how does this plan help us get some of these things back in working order?
Well, I think it's going to be a very long process, but it's, everybody has their own responsibilities that they have to do. There's a lot of learning and education to it. So the reason they fill in is because of garbage, or people, will sometimes put brush in there or not rake them out and stuff. So it's a cooperation between the city and the community.
Well, Council, I know this is the first time that the plan has been formally put in front of us. Well, I guess Wednesday when the Civic Plus was released would have been the first time. Are there specific questions that we have, or at this point are we the public hearing? It doesn't need a motion by us to set the public hearing. It's already been noticed and everything else. And so this is mostly just council being made aware of this thing that is out there that we need to learn about and who to call to ask questions for, right?
Mhm.
Is that a fair synopsis, Mr. Livingston?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Council comments, questions at this point?
I do have a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So hypothetical, if there's a ditch and it's on a property that I don't know who owns it, maybe it's deserted or it's A&K Grill on John Street, and the ditches on A&K Grill are disaster right now, and every time it grows, it rains or whatever, it's a hazard. Who's responsible for that?
Who owns the parcel?
So
You know?
I guess it just depends on where the ditch is located. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to throw a whole lot of work on Public Works, and I don't know what their stance is. I mean, that's more of a question for them. They may have a kind of deciding factor on what they clean out. Now, I don't know that we'll actually go out there and clean out an entire ditch. They may dig up around the end of the culvert pipe or whatever. It really all comes down to an ownership issue. It just depends on where that ditch is at. If it's at the back of the property, then, and it's a private ditch, we run the risk of tearing that property up to get around the back. So, I mean, that just opens us up for more liability issues.
So I guess my question is, once we start doing this and we start doing, like the mayor said, identifying the right-of-ways and those type of deals, are we going to do the work to see who owns the parcels, if it's their responsibility, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, we make that determination anyway. If the claim comes in or the complaint comes in, we always look at it, and that determination is made up front anyway.
We do have a map that shows all the ones that we're responsible for and maintaining. It's in the right of way. If it's our right of way or DOT's right of way, we definitely maintain those in the right of way, or we're supposed to. But the other ones, there's several orphaned ones out there that are just that.
All right, I got you.
Oh, yes, sir.
I was going to say, it would be an ideal, unless someone disagrees, it would be an ideal use for particular to the public that's watching of the 311 system. If it's a concern or something that you see as a concern, enter it in the 311 system, as I've talked about many times, and that guarantees you a response from city officials to whatever your concern is. It would be an ideal use of that. And then before it's acted on, of course, then the city proper personnel would determine whose responsibility it is, and it can unfold from there.
We have also established a stormwater hotline to help with the process. Oh, thank you. I was like, my voice is gone.
Something else has repeatedly been brought to me by constituents, and it's probably a bit of a business angle to this, but nonetheless, I think it's a valid question, is the mobile car wash folks that will go, and if you own a car wash or if you operate a car wash, regardless of size or complexity or modernness or whatever, you're required to have certain cleanouts. You're required to have certain catch basins in the engineering of your site and of your facility. Or you can do one of the mobile ones where anything that they do that washes off of a car goes straight into a storm drain. How are cities, from both an ecological impact standpoint, as well as making sure you know what's going into your storm drains, which I guess may just be ecological rebranded, but how do cities keep that under control? What do they do?
So for the mobile car washes, it's really, you're not supposed to let anything go into the storm sewer drains, and it's against our ordinance, illegal discharge control 6.6. So a lot of times people will wash their cars on the grass, and that keeps it out of the storm sewer system, because it filters down into the ground.
That would be someone doing it at their own house. I guess I'm kind of talking about the folks that will show up in the middle of a parking lot to do a thing and do it quite well.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's certainly not a slight on them and their entrepreneurship by any means. Just purely from a stormwater management perspective, how do you enforce it, I guess is the right question.
Well, I mean, it really depends on how the city wants to enforce it, but I mean, they're really not supposed to do that, because it all goes into the storm sewer system, and of course that's not treated.
But it already is an ordinance piece. Now it comes to a matter of either code violation or whatever the
Yes.
appropriate claim is. Okay, good to know.
Any more questions?
Council, anything else on item 9.1? When we have this next, will y'all be prepared to do a little bit more of a deep dive into the plan to be able to give us an overview of, make sure we understand it the way you want us to understand it?
Okay.
I think that would be really helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, before we actually have the public hearing, I want to make sure we're explaining it to the public so they know what they're reading.
Okay.
Mr. Livingston, any objection to that? Obviously,
No,
you're the
sir.
manager.
No, I think it's a great idea.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. What do you, and Jonathan, I'm assuming you're 9.2, aren't you?
Well, she's 9.2, but I'm gonna do a little introduction real quick, and then I'm gonna let her get back to talking.
Mr. Livingston, anything to add on 9.2 before we?
No, sir.
All right, perfect. There you go.
I think it's self-explanatory.
Thank you.
We'll
Yeah,
explain
yeah. So this is the erosion and sedimentation control ordinance, and you know she's going to deep dive a little more into it. But this is something that already all developers, engineers, contractors, they already are doing this. It's all going through our local DEQ office at Washington. So now we're just taking that, bringing that into the city, and she's going to explain how we're going to be, you know, looking at all that, reviewing everything. So.
Okay, so the City of Goldsboro's Erosion and Sediment Control Ordinance 6.7, effective date is projected to be September 1st. So the City of Goldsboro Erosion and Sediment Control, this is Control Measure 4 for your stormwater management plan. It is construction site runoff controls. So it was reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission in February 2026. Erosion and Sediment Control Ordinance received informal approval from the SCC, the Sedimentation Control Commission, on May 7th. We are expecting formal delegation approval in August 11th at the next SCC meeting, and the effective date will be September 1st. And this, we're adopting North Carolina's erosion and sediment control standards. We're not changing the standards at all. The only difference between the state standards and ours is the threshold for the plan review, which is we're going to move it down to 0.5 acres versus the state's 1 acre. So it enhances local oversight on construction activities and reduces sediment runoff and protects our water quality. So, and this is important, it's part of our stormwater management plan. We will be having a public hearing for this June 15th as well.
The June 15th meeting, when we have both of those, again, if you could just have a couple of slides, a little bit more of a understanding, so that sometimes when you read something, you don't really know the context. You're not really an expert on the subject matter. You can kind of read things into it or out of it. If you would, whenever we open up the item on the agenda to move into those public hearings, if you would have a few slides to be able to explain what it is exactly and some context around it, I think that would be very helpful. And then we'll obviously have the public hearings, and then at that point, council, I hope will be in a position to formally discuss and adopt or modify the ordinances.
Okay. You guys have any questions now, or you want to know any more?
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. All right. That being all business items on our agenda, our next thing is our city manager's report. Mr. Livingston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple quick things. I wanted to give you some feedback on the security downstairs and how it's working up here. I think it was a smart move on behalf of the city, and I think it's working out pretty well. I think the employees are happy with it, and I just didn't know if you had any feedback for me about it or staff. Kelly kind of ran that one, so I give him credit for setting it up and working through the process. But I think it's working pretty well, and I just wanted to report. They're picking up some things, and I think that everyone's generally safer than they used to be, for sure. So, I'm glad we didn't have to wait until after something happened, and I hope nothing does happen. But I feel like we've made a good move there, and I just wanted to see if you had any questions about that.
Nothing for me, as long as the employees are saying that they feel a benefit from it, then.
Well, I think, yeah, I think they are, and I think moving the receptionist out there into the utility payment section has been a big benefit. She's happy there. So all around, I think it's been good, and additional security up here has been working really well. So feel pretty good about that. The other thing is just to let the board know, I'll be out of town the rest of the week, the family vacation down at Sunset Beach. I'll be available, but Kelly, as the deputy, will be the acting manager. So if you feel like you need to contact him for in-city emergency management issue or something like that, he's here. So, but you feel free to call me as well if you want to.
I hope you didn't just jinx yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask.
So, that's all I got, Mayor.
All right, everybody. We will move to item 11 is Mayor Councilmember
I
comment.
did want to say
Go
thank
ahead.
you all for voting for the budget and supporting the whole process. I know it's been a long process, but I think we really did a good job with putting the budget together as a team. That means everybody up here, so I appreciate you. Thank you.
So with that, we'll move to Mayor and Councilmember comments. It is the first meeting of the month. As is our tradition, I'll begin with the representative from Council 1, Councilwoman Jones. The floor is yours.
Yes, I would like to say I'm very happy about the moving along with the budget. Thank everyone for their input. Also, I would like to thank the staff and the Finance Committee as well. Everyone who had an input and had questions, thank you. I'd like to say the James and Pine Street project is moving right along. The building has been torn down. It looks really, really good. I'm very excited about that. And we're moving along with the brick campaign, and many of you have received brochures regarding the brick campaign. So, and also we will have a mural competition for the area too, and I'm really excited about the movement of this project. And that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman, the floor is yours.
No comment, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman, the floor is yours.
No comment.
Thank you. Councilwoman, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna start.
Right, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna start my first comment with you, Mayor. By serving in this tenure, I have seen over this last year just how much time you serve and how much capacity you give here. Yeah. And on behalf of the city and the city council, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I hope you've had an amazing happy birthday. Also, thank you to our code enforcement department. You can see the work that you're doing down on the different areas. Matter of fact, I called Councilwoman Hiawatha Jones yesterday just to say I'm seeing a lot of great things taking place in her district, and so thank you to our code enforcement department for that. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the Dillard Alumni Parade. I thought that was one of our best parades ever, and we had great attendance, so I was grateful to be a part of that, and that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilwoman, the floor is yours.
No comment.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have one
You
comment.
felt that temptation, didn't you?
Yeah, no doubt. Just one comment. Central Heights Road. There's some people living out there that witnessed this morning that 18-wheelers are speeding through Central Heights Road, as well as there are cars and things going out there. So I ask that we just take a look at Central Heights Road, especially now that the school is out. Kids out running about, even when school is in, but we need to try to squelch that problem, because it's a continual problem right now on Central Heights Road. I don't know if we can put some kind of traffic, whatever, but it's a continuous problem right now on Central Heights Road. That's all I have.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm going to basically take the lead, or heed the advice of all the other council members, and just simply say thank you to everybody involved in this budget. Thank you to everybody who has put in so much time into bringing problems to staff and bringing concerns. I think that we are making a notable difference in the city, and beyond that, no further comment. Mr. Lawrence, going once, going twice. You've already said no. Don't take it back.
No closed
session. All right, so no closed session. So with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? No debate on the motion to adjourn. We'll call the vote. All in favor, please vote by show of hands. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes unanimously. We stand adjourned.